Because right now, again, I'm sitting at 6 pounds or 6% body fat. I should probably hold on to a little bit more of it, but it's that mental thing. Take away everything I love to make myself more hatred towards this person.
Welcome to the prize fighting business. This episode is brought to you by King Arthur Capital Group. Fund your fight camp. Today I'm joined by Micah, the Super Saiyan Haas. Micah, thank you for joining me.
Dude, it's been a long time. I'm so happy to speak with you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're one of the OGs of the show, so we appreciate having you back. And now, what a journey you've been on. You are 7-0 as a pro, training with Genesis Training Academy in Colorado, coming off of a first-round KO win your last time out in just 13 seconds. And now you're preparing for your next fight, a flyweight title shot at WXC 100. You'll be the main event headliner in Flint, Michigan, against the 8-1 Jake Scott. So what do you want out of this fight?
Oh, dude, I want everything. It's time, we've been looking for top prospects for a while. I've said no to a few. I've been said no by dozens on dozens. Shout out Jake Scott for taking another tough fight after taking his first career L. Most guys want to jump back and get a little cushioning and take some easy fights. I give him credit for taking this fight. I think he thinks that this is a fight fate made for him. But we're going into enemy territories to destroy the game plan. So I want everything. I want violence. I want 5 rounds of hardship because I put in the hardest fight camp I've ever put in. If I go in there and knock him out in 16 seconds after all this work I put in, I'm going to be annoyed.
Love it. And this would be for your second pro title. So where do you see a victory in this fight taking you?
WXC is not as well known as it once was. Again, this is their 100th event, so they're a long-running promotion who I think they have over 30 UFC veterans to date. The title I don't give a shit about the title, even though I'm a Jew and I like gold. I don't need this one. It's the opponent. I'm ranked number 32 in the country and number 46 in the world. He's ranked number 30 and 41. So he is legitimately right in front of me in the rankings. And I think it's disrespectful because I think I'm way better and I want to go show that.
Love it. So get your 8th win, you'd take his spot in the rankings, maybe even bump up a little further since that's a guy ahead of you that you'd be getting a victory over. So how do you envision winning this fight?
I envision it being grueling. I envision this being the toughest fight of my life, and I'm expecting that. I don't expect to finish him quickly. I do expect to finish him, though. I do believe that as he tries to wear on me, I'm going to wear on him more. As he tries to push the pace, I'm going to hold the pace. And when he starts questioning things and when he starts feeling the 4th and 5th round, that's when I think my violence is going to get better and better.
I love the mentality and the expectation for the fight. So who is it that helps you hone this mentality and your skill set? Who's your head coach for this fight?
Colorado is the mecca for MMA. I'm absolutely blessed, especially in this last camp, to have who I have. Not only do I have my head coach and owner of Genesis Training Academy, Jacob Ramos, who has been putting in a lot of individual work with the pads, with the watching of the tape and things like that. I also have a friend in my manager, Art Track Petrosian, owner and creator of Nightmare Management, the best manager in the game right now, a guy who's really putting it on for us fighters. He spends 3 or 4 hours a week with me as well, hitting pads, going over film, going over fighting and things like that. So I have an amazing corner that I'm bringing out there. Both of them are coming out there with me. But as far as training partners and far as the in and out of the day, Juan Rosales, the best 125er in Colorado. I might be ranked number 1, but he's the best in the state. He beats my ass every single day. He just fought this last weekend against a really tough kid in Keenan Davis. Both of them records don't really showcase how good these kids are. They could easily be the same record as mine if they fought in different promotions, but they fought tough guys from the get-go. He makes me who I am. If it wasn't Juan Rosales, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know if I'd be in the state. I don't know if I'd be at my gym. I don't know if I definitely wouldn't be 7-0. So all credit goes to him. And then I have added a secret weapon, Therius Robinson, one of the best freestyle wrestlers to really ever exist. At one time ranked number 1 in the world. At one time, Fargo national champion, Big 12 national champion. He's putting a lot of effort in with me. We're spending countless hours just grappling and cage work and anti-grappling and anti-wrestling and just improving the gas tank just so I can handle the up and down that I expect this fight to have.
Wow, very cool. So that's what the championship fight camp looks like. How does that differ from a normal fight camp for you?
This is how it differs. Usually in fight camps, it's a trajectory of building up and then kind of coming down and going back up. When you're training for a 5 rounder, it's all mental, right? You're trying to prepare your brain and your mind to be able to be consistent for 25 minutes. So I'm burning, I'm hitting cortisol, I'm burning, I'm going as hard as I can in every single practice, and I'm hitting 3 days. I'm doing 4 to 6 hours of working out every single day. Yesterday, I went up to 11,000 feet. I ran 6 miles. I did 500 push-ups, 500 squats. I swam. I did cold plunge, and that was my active rest day. So, you can see my face is bruised and beaten up because I've put in a grueling camp. I'm working with one of the best fighters in the world right now. I've been blessed to spend the last couple of weeks with guys from other gyms and training with guys like Roy Val and Louis Guerrero and things like that. And I know if I'm competing with these guys who are UFC top tier fighters, this kid from Flint Bum F Michigan is not competing.
Absolutely. And I love that you're so candid with the training and what it looks like at this level and to fight for a championship fight. So thank you for that. And that awesome getting those looks from the names you mentioned and Juan Rosales as well. High praise for him. And like I said, a great performance most recently this past weekend. So
So clean.
awesome looks getting ready for that fight. Love to hear it. So how much weight do you normally cut and what does that weight cutting process look like for you to fight at flyweight for where you have to weigh in at 125 pounds?
I have a rule. Only my mother, my God, and my coach get to ask me about my weight in any sense. But but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it because I've been called a weight bully. I've been called somebody who cuts a raw weight and stuff like that. This just taken about 30 minutes ago in body tests. Let's look at it together. Current weight. Hopefully you can see that. 141 pounds. I woke up 139. I have 35 pounds of extractable water. And I'm currently sitting at a body fat mass of 9 pounds with a body fat of 6.2. I This is gonna be the easiest weight cut in my life. There's truly no one I believe that does it to the level I do. I'm a licensed nutritionist. I flip over every single rock. I take every single type of high-end supplement possible at the right times. I eat the best nutrition possible. I cut out all sugar, 60 days ago. So no inflammation in the body, no processed foods. I'm eating about 4 or 5 base root foods, and that's it. So I'm in the best shape of my life. My weight is in the best place it needs to be. This weight cut will be effortless for me. And I'm going to come in there to absolutely kill the kid because of it.
Great. So what do you plan to eat right after you weigh in then?
Dude, I am a creature of habit. I literally eat the exact same things every day, all day. For me, it's all science. It's not about enjoyment. Post weigh-ins, its first thing I drink only water with nothing else until I have my first urination. After my first urination, then I take in my electrolytes, my BCAAs, and all that good stuff. And then my first meal is always a protein shake. Readily accessible nutrients, easily digestible, so I'm not putting any type of dense food in my body that isn't fully lubricated to process it. So it's delicious. It's a delicious peanut butter protein, honey protein shake, but it's simplistic and boring at the same time. Now I will have a beer. I'll have a Guinness. I always do that. I have one Guinness after each weigh-in. A little science. There's a lot of activated yeast in that Guinness that will actually help me break down the new food that I'm putting in. But that's the reward. I'm not a big drinker, but I love Guinness. I cut alcohol out probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I haven't had alcohol in almost like half a year. So it's not really like I missed the alcohol, but it's just like drinking that one beer after weigh-ins just makes it giggly.
Yeah, interesting. Very cool. So then what do you eat after the fight itself?
It's whatever. It's fucking pizza and ice cream.
Cool.
It's just ice cream. It's all I want is ice cream. I miss ice cream. That's the only thing that's hard for me to give up. Everything's easy for me to give up. I already live a very strict lifestyle, except I love ice cream. I eat all natural ice cream that's honey based, so it doesn't have any like fake shit in it. But I give that up. I could actually probably eat it. It's actually probably even better for me to have that because right now, again, I'm sitting at 6 pounds or 6% body fat. I should probably hold on to a little bit more of it, but it's that mental thing. Take away everything I love to make myself more hatred towards this person.
Love it. So you mentioned it earlier that you do use a manager, Nightmare Management, and Artek Petrosian. So I assume he's the one that gets your fights. But what does that process look like? I mean, how do you go about getting your fights even with the manager?
So, there's a lot of managers out there that, talk more, do less, and kind of just wait. Art Track Petrosian, if anyone's out there, and you're good, hit up Art Track. He's only taking the best right now. He's full basically on his roster. He's built it so fast. He's doing amazing things these last 2 years. But dude, this guy works effortlessly for me. I mean, typically for most of my fights, we're looking at about a minimum of 10 no's. I've had upwards of like 20 no's before we've gotten the confirmation. Shout out Alex Rigo, my last fight, for him to fight me. Like, I gave that kid so much credit. His confidence was unbelievable. I was like, where? I wish I had that confidence to go fight someone like me with what he's been doing and things like that. When he said yes to me, I was amazed. But there are so many high level guys. There are so many dudes in the top 10 in the world that have said no to me. And most managers, when that happens, they stop working and they wait for the phone call. Art doesn't do that. He gave me 4 or 5 different options. We got 2 or 3 different guesses. I think this is the perfect matchup. I think it's the perfect timing. I think it's made for me. So that's why we took this fight.
Love it. Yeah, no, that is a lot of work. It is a lot of work to make fights come through, and a lot of people pull out or they want to protect their records, like you're saying, and fighting someone undefeated as yourself. It's the opportunity, but it's also a lot of risk for a lot of people. So I could imagine, yeah, it could be difficult for your manager. So, props.
Yep.
So awesome. So take us back then. When did you start training martial arts, and what first got you started in it?
So a question that's been asked, and I've gone into it in some detail, but I want to go into a little bit more detail. So I started wrestling middle of the 8th grade year. I grew up in a very strict religious household that didn't allow us to like participate in basic sports and things like that. My brother, his freshman year, was allowed to wrestle. I got obsessed with it. I was a year younger than him, so I started right behind him. So I had only I'm not a lifelong wrestler and things like that. I had a lot of success in high school wrestling because I became obsessed with it. But beginning of sophomore year, when I was turning 16, is when I started doing martial arts. There's a gym called Shag MMA that I first started. This was, 17, 18 years ago. And this is way before there was a structure to MMA. It was basically me fighting grown men every single day and getting my ass beat by dudes half my size, getting my face blown out, getting my jaw broken, getting my teeth removed, getting my tongue cut off because you're training in terrible situations because that's all that's available. But I've talked about this a little bit more, but I'm putting it upon myself to talk about it a lot more, not only for my own purpose, but for those out there. At the end of the day, I have selfish purposes of why I fight. I want to be successful. I want to win championships. I want to be financially successful as well. I want all of that, right? I don't really care about the glitz and glamour, the theme of all of it. I'd rather not really have any of that if that does ever come. But I've said this before. The reason why I fight is for self-survival. I grew up in a very hard household. I lost 2 of my brothers. I watched one of my brothers murder somebody when I was 13 years old. I was a person who was supposed to wake up my brother every day to go to school. When I woke him up that day, he was not awake. He had committed suicide. I was the first person to see that at 12 years old. I grew up extremely self-loathing, extremely depressed. I tried to commit suicide when I was 19 years old. I was going to commit suicide again when I was 22 years old. But fighting helps that. Fighting is the only thing in my entire life outside my relationship with my God that helps me with those thoughts, with that evil, devilish thought that tells me I'm not good enough, I don't deserve happiness, love, and everything like that. When you're getting punched in the face, when you're legitimately surviving for your life, you don't think about the angst of the world and the things that you put on yourself. So I started fighting so I basically would survive, that I wouldn't kill myself. There's been times in fight camps, there's been times in my fight career where I've dealt with those same thoughts and same feelings. And, kind of like going back to like what Alec Volkanovsky said, which like, man, I'm basically fighting for survival. And like the fight camp, the frustration, everything that comes with it is what I need to keep me basically intact. Because if I don't have something so hard pulling me away from my thoughts, I get lost in my thoughts. So I do best in this atmosphere. I do best when the stress levels are high. I do best when the cameras are on me. And this is something we talk about in the room a lot. It's like I get my ass kicked almost every day in the room. I'm not the hammer in my room. Not only because we have amazing fighters, but because I don't ever want to be. When I'm in the room, I purposely make myself the nail to improve in every position as much as possible. So throughout camp, man, it's hard for me to find confidence sometimes because like, man, I'm getting my ass kicked. But I show out in fights, and it's because I love it. And it's because it's not stress and it's not something that I worry about because I'm worrying about self-survival. I'm not worried about the dude I'm fighting against. And again, I grew up in a life where I was fighting crackheads twice my age, legitimately trying to kill me when I'm half asleep at night because that's the lifestyle I grew up with. So like when I think about fighting someone my own age, my own size and things like that, like it's so easy. So again, like big, long spread out answer. It's like why I fight. I fight for self-survival. And I really want to make that I really want to start talking about that more. I want to make that a point because we're living in this world right now, and like the news and everything is the devil is strong and it's creating this world that's destroying us, and we're seeing suicide rate skyrocketing. Not only um in men, which is we know is the high place that happens, but also in our youth. We've seen a huge growth in suicide rate in our youth under 18, and there's absolutely no room for that. So I want to be a beacon for others. I want to be somebody who not only talks about it so people hear about it, but also be someone that's there for you. So if you are listening to this, if you're on Instagram, if you follow me on any social media, if you see me at a fight, if you see me somewhere out and about and you need somebody, I would love to be that for you. I think the biggest thing when it comes to like mental health in this world is a lot of us are now like talking about it, but we're not listening about it. We're not doing the right things about it. And I know through my own life when I've been really bad and like, and I reach out to somebody, that's like the hardest thing to do. And the worst thing to hear, at least for myself, is, oh, I've gone through that too. Or, oh, I totally understand. I want to start spending my time on social media, in front of cameras, talking about proper ways to handle mental health. Not just, oh, talk about it. Okay, what does that look like? It's so much more than just talking about it, because just opening up, it doesn't fix anything unless it's handled properly. So real quick before we go on the next question, if you are dealing with mental health, reach out to me, reach out to a loved one. If you're not someone who believes in Yashem or Lord Savior, that's okay. But I recommend go to a church, even if not for religious purposes, but for somebody to pray over you, somebody to give you kind words. Exercise has been proven scientifically to be the number one thing that helps with depression. We've proven recently that antidepressant medications increase your probability to stay depressed and increases your probability of suicidal thoughts. I'm not telling you that if you're on medication to get off of it, but what I am telling you is to look for other ways to process it and not rely on the medication. Eating healthy is one of the best things that you can do. Sugar and alcohol are extreme depressants. They destroy your neurological system, they destroy your brain waves and how they process things. If you are depressed, you have anxiety, get the fuck off the alcohol, get the fuck off the processed sugars and processed goods. You'll be amazed how just doing those simple things can actually completely fix your life. That's coming from somebody who's dealt with these issues his entire life and is in an extremely happy state right now. And the results are that. The reason why I went from a 4-3 amateur fighter to a 7-0 pro fighter who hasn't lost a single round is not because I train harder, smarter, and better, although I do. It's because I found self-love. When you love yourself, it's way easier to perform.
Absolutely powerful stuff. Very well said. Thank you. No, and I think obviously we agree here, and that's why we're big proponents of supporting martial arts because it is a great outlet. So
Absolutely.
yeah, reach out to Micah. Want someone to talk to? Want another outlet for mental health? That's great stuff. Awesome. All right, so let's talk about it's a great segue also into your new nickname, the Super Saiyan. So Micah, tell us
Yes.
about your nickname and what that means to you.
So it's biting the bullet is what it is. I created the alter ego of the Super Jew a long time ago, knowing that it was gonna create handicaps, knowing that it was gonna create issues for some. We're currently in a climate right now with what's happening in the world, and I am no supporter of Israel and I'm no supporter of our government, although I do love my Israelis. I do love being an American. We can all understand and agree that we don't have to love our government to love our people. But basically what happened was we had a conversation with the bigwigs of the UFC, and they told my manager that the name is not only not helping, it's hurting him. So I'm in a position where I can't have any handicaps right now. I'm not the youngest fighter and things like that. So I need to make sure I create all outlets that get me towards the big shows. And that's basically what this is. It's unfortunately we live in a world today that's so PC and so judgmental that people can't understand the difference between culture, blood, and country. That I'm gonna have to switch. I was getting like 40 to 50 Instagram reports a month from non-followers. My Instagram algorithm, when it's plummeted, it went from like 12,000 to like 6,000 followers in like a month. I had a lot of sponsors saying, "Hey, we love you, we love what you do, but because of the whole Jew thing, we don't feel comfortable." And um, I don't want to say that I ran away from who I am, but and the reality is I did a little bit. I had to bite the bullet, and I had to play the game, as they say it, a little bit. And now we're the Super Saiyan. And the thing is if people want to read into it, really deeply, they talk about Zionism and how Zionists believe that they're the you know the God's chosen people and how they have holy blood and things like that. Well, if you ever look up the whole thing about Super Saiyans and how they talk about who they are and how they talk about how they're the ultimate race and better than everyone else, it's similar play on words there and things like that. But I grew up, Super Jew was a play off of comic books and things like that. I grew up a nerd. I grew up not freaking confident and outgoing. I grew up very nose in the book, reading comics and things like that. And Dragon Ball Z was actually like my very first um side of like martial arts with Jackie Chan and Dragon Ball Z, and I was obsessed with it. And again, I grew up in a very religious household where we weren't allowed to watch those things. And I remember still to this day being like a 12-year-old kid going online with dial-up and having to go through like 8 different pages to watch like 7-minute clip of each episode, then going through another 7 different websites to get to the next little clip of an episode. So like kids nowadays with like Netflix and Crunchyrolls are so spoiled with how they have it. But um, so yeah, I grew up obsessed with that stuff. So it just seemed like an easy transition. I love Dragon Ball Z. I got a huge back tattoo, so I'll show you this. I covered my back with a Super Saiyan with Vegeta. So
Oh,
got
neat.
Vegeta.
Dang, that's really clean. That's
Yeah.
good.
I got Vegeta tattoo on my back. Shout out F Bob, my tattoo and sponsor. We've done 25 hours of work. We're gonna do about 100 hours total. But I've always associated myself really well with like Vegeta specifically. I've always considered myself an anti-hero in the sense that I've never felt comfortable in my own skin or even comfortable in my own environment. Like let's say fighting is my environment. I don't necessarily feel super comfortable there. I've always felt like the bad guy to some guys and the holier than thou than other people. So I feel like it's perfect. I am the anti-hero. I am the Super Saiyan.
Love it. Love the background too. Appreciate you sharing. So, what are your career goals overall? I know you've alluded to the UFC, you've touched on some things that you want to achieve in martial arts. What would you say your overarching career goal is?
It's like the hardest question, right? Because having expectations can destroy reality, right? And I used to have really, really strong expectations of exactly how I wanted all this to play out. I wanted to go pro by 30. I wanted to have this many wins by this. I wanted to be in the UFC by 33. I'm 33 right now. MMA is changing a lot, and we're seeing that. And I think it's going to change a lot more. And I don't know, man, but this is something I've always said. And like, people say I'm in it for the money, I'm in it for the fame. For me, it's self-actualization. That's what it's all about. I'm highly intelligent, I'm highly hardworking. I could easily go make $250,000 a year doing real estate, working for people that I've worked for before, doing something else. I'm not chasing monetization. I'm not chasing money. I'm not chasing appreciation of others. I'm trying to find happiness. I'm trying to wake up every day and look in the mirror and say, man, I'm happy with what you did. I'm very strict on myself. Um, every day I look in the mirror and I ask, did you do enough? Did you do enough? And then I compare myself to others and I'm like, holy shit, how are these guys having the success they are with what they do in comparison to me? So I want to be able to wake up one day and say, like, hey, what you're doing is enough, regardless of what it is that you're doing. And if that is me in the UFC making great money, knocking dudes out, getting bonuses, and being well known, great. If that's me chasing the sport until my wheels fall off and it not working out, and me having to go pursue monetization in other ways, I'm happy with that as well.
Incredible, incredible insight. 7-0 as a pro, going into next fight WXK 100 against Jake Scott, 8-1. So, how can people support you? How can they reach out? How can they get in touch? How can they buy tickets? How can they follow you online?
Yeah. So first and foremost, Instagram, Micah underscore Super Saiyan underscore Haas. Follow me on my Instagram, follow me on my YouTube, follow me on my TikTok, follow me on my Facebook and all those things where I'm cross posting on everything. What truly you can do if you're watching this, you're like, man, I want to help this person. Please promote my social media, promote me, promote my sponsors. I have all my sponsors listed on in my link tree through my Instagram. I only work with American owned, privately owned companies. I've turned down big name companies. I've turned down some big money as well. I've turned down Israeli APAC money because again, I'm not in support of that. Because I'm true to what I am. I'm true to what I support. Every single company I work with, they are the best at what they do. Let it be tattoos, let it be awesome clothing, let it be amazing jewelry. I truly stand by every one of my sponsors. So please follow me, follow my sponsors, buy their products because you need their products because their products are phenomenal, and just help me push my algorithm. Because at the end of the day, no matter what I do, it won't be enough. It's how much I'm pushed by the outside world. So I need you guys more than you may know.
Give him a follow, support him, support the people that support him, buy tickets to his fight, buy the pay-per-view, and make sure you watch for the results for him to go 8-0, win another championship belt, main event, Flint, Michigan, WXC 100. Be there. Watch it. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
That sounds so damn good, doesn't it? I mean, I got to commend you, man. You know, it's you. I think we spoke amateur debut 6 years ago.
No,
Um, Thank you for supporting our local community. You guys also follow my boy here, push his brand. He has been a true supporter of the local MMA scene forever without any demands or needs or goals other than he just wants my name to be pushed. So these are the type of people that we need to support. Colorado MMA community is the greatest community of MMA that there is. We are in a mecca. We all need to stop pushing against each other and supporting each other more and pushing each other's brands so we can all win together.
high tie raises all boats.
Exactly.
Appreciate you, Micah.
I appreciate you so much, brother. God bless.